Hey guys, today we are answering one of the most common questions in raised bed gardening. Which type of raised bed is best? Should you go with a wooden raised bed, a metal raised bed, or a fabric raised bed? I've personally used all three in my garden for years and I've learned the pros and cons of each. Some are great for durability, some affordability, and some for flexibility. But which one is right for you? In this video, we'll compare them based on cost, durability, ease of use, plant health, and overall performance. We'll also go over long-term maintenance and answer some frequently asked questions. And stick around until the end and I will share a great way to fill all these types of beds and save tons of money in the process. Let's start with the classic choice, wooden raised beds. These have been around for centuries, and there's a reason why they're still so popular. The pros are they're natural and aesthetically pleasing. They hold moisture well, preventing plants from drying out, and they're easy to build and customize. Now the downside is they will rot over time, and depending on the type of wood, that could be faster or slower. They need treatment or replacement after a few years. They can attract pests like termites, but not all wood is created equal. If you're going with wood, here are the best options. Cedar. It's naturally rot resistant and lasts 10 to 15 years. Redwood is a bit pricey, but extremely durable. Douglas fir is a budget-friendly option that lasts around 5 to 7 years. And pine is cheap, but it breaks down quickly, about 3 to 5 years. A big mistake I made early on was to use treated lumber. Now, some treated wood contains chemicals that can leach into your soil, so always check if it's a food-safe treatment before using it. If you want your wooden raised bed to last as long as possible, use a natural wood sealant to protect against moisture. Before you fill it with soil, you can paint the inside of it with something like linseed oil, and then you can do the outside with linseed oil and keep that up every few years. So who should choose wooden raised beds? If you love a natural look and don't mind some maintenance, wood beds are a great balance of cost and function. They're perfect for small and medium-sized gardens and work well in moderate climates. Next up, we have metal raised beds. These have exploded in popularity in recent years, and I have to say, I'm a pretty big fan. These here are about to become my dragon fruit and pineapple beds. So the pros of metal beds, they are durable. They can last 20 plus years. Pest and rot resistant, no termites, no rot. They got a modern look, they're stylish. The cons are they can get hot in direct sun. They're more expensive up front, and soil can dry out faster in the summer. Now those things all have easy remedies. If you live in a hot climate, metal beds can heat up fast. So use a thick mulch like straw or wood chips to keep the soil cool. Position the bed in partial shade if possible, or line the inside with cardboard or burlap to insulate the soil. The bigger and deeper metal beds are, the easier it is to kind of maintain a good soil temperature. Now, not all metal beds are created equal. Galvanized steel is the most durable option, lasts 20 plus years. Corrugated metal is cheaper, but still long lasting. And aluminum is lightweight, but it may dent easily. So who should choose metal raised beds? Metal raised beds are great for long-term gardeners who want something low maintenance and durable. If you're in a humid or termite-prone area, metal is an excellent choice. I have 2 fabric raised beds, and I've had these going on 4 years now. In the past couple of years, I've harvested close to 200 pounds of sweet potatoes out of these 2 4x4 raised beds. In fact, I'm going to be planting them up with sweet potatoes again in just a couple of weeks. So who should choose fabric raised beds? Fabric raised beds are the most affordable and flexible option out there. They work surprisingly well for small spaces. The pros are they are super affordable. They have excellent drainage, excellent aeration. They're portable. You can move them around easier than the rest of them. The cons are they don't last as long. Between 3 to 10 years, if you get a good brand. Like I said, I've had these for 4 years. They are just as sturdy and look almost as good as they did 4 years ago. So these should last anywhere between 4 to 8 years, sometimes 10. Now some fabric raised beds and containers, if you've had those, they dry out very quickly in dry weather. I live in a dry climate here. We have hot summers. So these GRASSROOTS beds are actually made for that. they have the bottom 3 or 4 inches is fabric, straight fabric, so you get root pruning. And what root pruning does is when you grow anything in a container or a raised bed, when the roots hit that side, they start to wrap around and around the pot. If you pulled a root-bound plant out of a pot, you've seen that happening. That can cause problems with the plant. So what this does, any fabric bed or container, when the root hits that fabric, it detects oxygen there, and so it splits the root and makes it branch, which is what you want roots to do. So the bottom has that and the top has that, and then the main part and the interior, they have another material that is more waterproof, so it holds the moisture in while still allowing the root pruning to happen. The waterproof fabric is PFAS free, it's non-toxic, it's food safe. Now, if you don't have this brand, you can just water more frequently, especially in the summer. Use a moisture retaining soil mix and place them in a slightly shaded area to prevent overheating. The best uses for fabric beds are, they're perfect for renters, for urban gardeners, temporary setups. Like I said, I use them for growing sweet potatoes, carrots, I've grown herbs, and they all do really well in these raised beds. So you're still not sure which one's best for you? Here's my final recommendation. Go with wood if you want a classic, customizable bed. Choose metal for long-lasting durability, and pick fabric for an affordable, portable option. Now let's talk about one of the biggest hidden costs of raised bed gardening, filling it with soil. If you've ever tried filling a deep bed with 100% high quality raised bed mix or bagged mix, you know how expensive it can get. A great way to cut costs while still providing great nutrition for your plants is to use organic matter at the bottom of your bed. This method is called hugelkultur, and it involves layering materials like sticks, branches, and logs. Those break down over time and retain moisture. Leaves and grass clippings, they add organic nutrients as they decompose. Straw or cardboard helps with drainage and prevents weeds. So how it works is, you fill the bottom third, no more than that, of your raised bed with sticks and branches. Try to pack them in tightly like a puzzle. Add a layer of leaves and straw or compost on top of that, and finish with 6 to 12 inches of high quality planting mix on the surface. This method saves money, improves soil structure, and retains moisture. I hope this video helped you choose between the 3 types of raised beds. Click this video right here to avoid common mistakes in growing in raised beds. I'll see you guys next time.